stood up in front of a group of scouts and addressed them in this building.
Wow.
So I ask you, as a disclaimer, try to admit that my memory isn't what it used to be. And so pardon me as we recollect some of the things that happened in the good old days. I'm going to start with just a little bit of history. I know it's been out there and people can read it, but just to kind of put everything in perspective. In 1957, the dining hall, staff area, nature, and campcraft lodges were built. The pool, the fountain quarters, the camp office, the cook's quarters, and Corman Lodge were also put into use. The rifle range opened in 1958. In 59, the East Camp Quartermaster was erected, and there were 4 tracts of land that were purchased. Additional land was also purchased in 61, 62, and 63. 61, 62, and 64. In 61, members of the Ordearo ordeal candidates, the camp ranger and staff built the ceremonial grounds. In 62, the Foreman Memorial Jewish Chapel was dedicated. In 64, the Christian Chapel was dedicated. In 65, we saw the dedication of the Florence Lake. In 69, the Hebrew Memorial Wall was erected out front here. The late 70s saw the institution of a Web Lives program, Cub Scout Adventure Weekends, and the Cub Camp, which is basically what I understand this has become. Remember now, I'm coming from the 60s and early 70s. Okay, some programming things. The camp season was composed of 8 week-long sessions beginning at the end of June and ending in August. The staff would arrive 1 week before for opening and stay 1 week after the campers left, and that was close the camp. The staff was made up of about 60 to 80 members, divided into approximately 20 different program departments and work departments: administrative, quartermaster, commissary, trade post, cooks, commissioners, health, Scoutcraft East, Scoutcraft West, conservation, rifle range, pool, boathouse, chaplains, archery, Indian lore, CITs, part-time people, and a laundress. Most of the staff were Eagle Scouts and also members of the Order Arrow. Most of the senior members of the staff were either college students or educators. We had 2 rangers at the time. We had a camp ranger and a program ranger. We played bugle calls over the camp public address system announcing reveille, waiters, meals, religious services, and taps. Singing songs was a part of every lunch and dinner meal. Meals were held here in the dining hall and sometimes even overflowed onto the porch due to the number of campers. The campers sat at tables of 8, were serviced by a waiter supplied by their troops. If the troop was camping on the east side, they were given the choice to eat either here in the dining hall or to receive their meals on wheels in heater stacks delivered by the quartermaster staff. The dining hall was created to a cafeteria style in 1973. I had left in 72, so I missed that part. A campwide ceremony for retreat or colors took place every day before dinner. All troops formed on the parade field in front of the dining hall to observe the lowering of the flag. The camp operated on a precision schedule, and having done the schedule a number of years, I can attest to that. Campers would arrive on Saturday afternoon, set up their camp, proceed to the pool for a medical recheck, an orientation by the health staff and sometimes the chaplains, and then take the swimming classification test. One Saturday evening, campfire took place featuring songs, skits, and storytelling. It was a great activity to open Camp Week. This was followed by a troop leaders meeting to discuss and convey the camp procedures. On Sunday, Christian and Catholic church services were held. Sunday was also Visitors' Day, and all the families, grandparents, brothers, sisters, girlfriends were in attendance. The noon meal, featuring roast beef and ground potatoes and ice cream, was the best meal of the week. I think that was maybe a coincidence with the parents here and the families here. The food, though, was good. But not quite like Mom's cooking, but it was very good, I thought. The program week began on Monday. Wednesday night welcomed male visitors to the tap-out ceremony for the Arrow candidates. On Thursday, the Arrow candidates completed their ordeal by working to complete essential repairs and improvements to the camp. Jewish services were conducted on Friday evening, followed by a ceremonial campfire, during which the accomplishments of the campers were recognized. This included bird badges earned, ranks achieved, Order of the Arrow, honors being bestowed. Recalling some of the unique memories of the 60s and 70s from my perspective, several of our camp staff members visited the National Boy Scout Jamboree held on July 17th to 23rd in 1964 in Valley Forge. And being on the camp staff, we were able to get over to the Jamboree and spend some time, going through the process of getting some behind-the-scenes sites. In 1965, the Brandon Powell Provisional Troop was organized. In 1966, the conservation program was started under Dick Barnes. In the ITA, which is an invitation to a venture program, was started in 1967, ran for 3 weeks, and included approximately 70 boys from various backgrounds and neighborhoods in Philadelphia who worked and lived together as a Boy Scout troop. In 1968, the program served about 140 boys. In 1967, Tenderfoot Days were organized in the East and West Scout departments. Some of our camp staff members were able to attend the 1967 World Jamboree, which was held July 31st to August 9th at Farragut State Park in Idaho. Obviously, they brought back all kinds of memorabilia, and it was a great experience listening to their tales of how things went. In 1968, the staff performed a service project by cleaning up the Civil War burial grounds located at 6th and Federal Street, located at 6th and 7th Street in Philadelphia. That was a unique experience for all of our staff. On July 20th, probably the most noticeable and memory-lasting experience, on July 20th, 1969, at 4:17 p.m., the Apollo 11 lunar lander touched down on the moon with astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin. I remember watching the actual live coverage here in the dining hall on a small TV. Sometimes during this decade, a flushable woman's bathroom was built next to the dining hall. And the reason for putting that in there was because before that time, we didn't have to use the outhouses. So this was definitely an improvement. And I don't think it's the same one that's there now. I remember it being much smaller and just a one toilet.
Same one.
Is it? Same room. Yep.
I was here when it was built, so I know.
In 1971, we had a national camp inspection here. This included an analysis and an evaluation of the programs and facilities, and we did score pretty well on the inspection. Some not so nice news. 3 days prior to the camp's opening in 1971, 50 rifles were reported stolen from the rifle range. Bouncing Betsy, the bridge that used to go from west to east or east to west, was built in 1956, but was damaged in a flood before camp started in 1972. We have camp-wide troop competitions, such things as scavenger hunt. We call it Christmas at Hart Scout Reservation, or the meeting of the gods, where each of the troops would put teams together to just basically have a form of scavenger hunt. We also had a camp-wide aquatics event. Speaking of camp-wide events, every weekday the families would descend on the pool during the lunch hour to go swimming. I have been told there were always a friendly discussion among the pool crew as to who would lifeguard this event and enjoy the lunches made by one of the wives. Also, there were a couple young ladies that made the lifeguarding a rewarding experience. Some social things that were happening during this time. Probably the highlight of the staff summer was that we would hold a staff party. This featured the finals of the ping pong tournament and the Miss Hart contest, and supplemented with some very good food. Each department entered a candidate for Miss Hart, and a group of highly qualified judges would evaluate the participants' beauty and talent. Other notable events featured the staff corn boil, Sweethearts Day, performances by the Heartbreaks Band, socializing with the staff of Laughing Waters, the Girl Scout camp nearby, dinners at the Collegeville Inn buffet, and attending the Valley Forge Music Fair. We actually had some of our staff members get up with the Supremes to dance or sing along with them. That was Charlie Whiting. In closing, Bill Null, who was the camp director for most of the 60s and wrote this in his 1967 message to the staff. The impressions you made and the lessons you taught will last a long time in the lives of those boys. What you did spoke louder than what you said. The example you gave was the lesson they learned. The staff made a significant contribution to the Scout camping program in Philadelphia. As I said in my 1971 message to the staff, you were all given the opportunity to live, work, and play and cooperate with each other. The results of this experience were shown in your increased self-confidence, resourcefulness, spirit of helpfulness, and cooperation. These ideals, along with the ability to stand on your own 2 feet and make important decisions, will be a great value to you in the future. There are campers who may not have thanked you right away, but who someday will recognize that their days of sun and fun at Camp Hart meant more to you ultimately than just a good time. Happy Father's Day, everybody.